Ross, just a very brief reflection on Tuesday, if we may, and I know we spoke about it after the match. Thoughts now, given a little bit of time to digest the game, which, you've got a point in. Ultimately, it's a point in League One, but it wasn't the best first half, certainly. And how have you reflected on that with the side since the game?
Yeah, I think there's a few real key things that we didn't do well enough, that we went away from a little bit, which I take responsibility for as well, 100%, and which didn't help our performance in the first half. What I would say is the last half an hour was outstanding, outstanding, as good as it's been going forward, regardless of the situation in the game, which in fact at 2-0 down is tougher. It's tougher to do because there's risk, they get another goal, etc. So the last half hour, physically, mentally, tactically, the way they imposed themselves on the game and dominated was outstanding. So I feel even more proud of them for that after watching it back. And I think the beautiful thing about the first 50 minutes or whatever was that it's a really easy fix for us. And it's something we had to address quickly after Crew. And it's something we have to go back to again now. And again, it's the process. We have to constantly remind things. You think you've moved on from something, and then we have to go back and make sure we remind people. I didn't give enough work or information to a couple of the people that were coming into the team who needed reminding of stuff, and Andy Sermon as well, who's fairly new, took it for granted. So that's my fault. That's not them. They were brilliant in the last half an hour, as I said, to correct what had gone on before. And you're right, it's another point. So we've lost 1 in 6. It's another point at home, a point from a tough position in the game, which showed a lot of character and resilience. We all felt a bit disappointed on Tuesday night. There's no doubt about it. And it's because of the standards they've set themselves, and it's because of what you guys expect to see from the team, which we all take for granted, which is not easy. We have to respect the opposition, come and play in a certain way, and try and catch us out and stop us in different ways. And it was a Shrewsbury team who had very little to lose, as you saw with the manager leaving the next day. And I think they were all aware of their situation. They were aware of the situation the manager was in. So it was a team that really had nothing to lose, and tried to stress that to the players. But they caught us cold a little bit. So I feel better about it now, knowing that we can fix it very easily. I feel better about it now, knowing how much the players are willing to give and fight from any position they're in, because that wasn't easy. And I also feel better for the fact it's another point, and we've lost 1 game in 6 to the league leaders, who are winning a lot in a game that actually we played very, very well in, and could have come out with a lot more than we did. So we need to keep going. We need to make sure we keep building, and we've got another chance now in a big week with 3 games. I say big week in terms just for us because it's big physical load. 3 games that we prepare for, and we'll try and win, and we'll approach in the way that we see as fit, in terms of us and respecting opposition, and make sure we go there prepared and more prepared than we were for Tuesday.
It's almost games like that. You don't want them to happen, but you can learn so much from them as well, can't you? Yeah,
I think we try, and whether we win, lose or draw, I've said to you all the way along, I think you come in on Wednesday morning, we try not to dwell on the emotion of the result. The next thing then is about learning as much as we can for the game, whether we've won 2-0, whether we've drawn 2-2, whether we've lost. So it's all about how much we can learn to make us better and improve for the next one. It's that simple. That's the process. We analyse, we plan, and then we go and perform. And it's the same week in, week out after every single game. So we have learnt a hell of a lot. You're right, we learnt a hell of a lot on Tuesday, and that's why the Wednesday meeting was made so much easier, because it was so clear for us as a group of staff after watching it back twice on Tuesday night. It was clear for us what needs to happen, and it was made really clear to the players, and I think they saw that as well.
Lasse Sorensen looked a little disgruntled when he was taken off. I suppose you expect that from players, don't you?
Yeah, I would be if I had come off after half an hour as well. I think, as I said to you, it's never ever personal, it's always professional. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to listen, the team always comes first. I expect people to be disappointed if they're coming off early in the game, but I felt we needed it. We needed something to change. We needed David on the pitch, and unfortunately I just felt Lass was the one that had to make way for him. So Lass is very early on in his career. It's his first loan. It's his first real experience of going week in, week out. How tough it can be, how tough it is. And on the whole, he's done fine, and he'll get better and better as a younger player. And you have these moments, you have these moments in careers, especially early on, and it's about how you bounce back, how you react to them. And I expect he'll react in a very positive way because that's the kind of character he is. But yeah, I felt for him as well. It's tough being brought off. But I think Steve as well at half time. Steve made a mistake for our goal. It wasn't anything to do with him coming off. It's not like he was being told off for making a mistake. He knows he made a mistake, but that wasn't it. I just felt the game needed something different, and Carlton, and fortunately for us, they were two changes that paid off. And unfortunately, I've said to everyone, we're going to need every single player throughout the season, and what is a condensed season, really tight, hectic fixture schedule. We're going to need every single player, and every single player has to put the team first. It's as simple as that. And there's going to be times where I have to make really tough decisions like that. And unfortunately for Lass, one of them is Tuesday night. But we'll move on, and we'll work together, and we'll keep working to improve.
For you, Russ, we've talked about this a million times, and I think from my perspective, when I watch the side, they're so close at times. They're so close to getting everything right, and it's I suppose because of the style you play. If one or two things don't go wrong, it shows up more than it would if you played another style. So it's brave to a certain extent. Do the players know how close they are to all this knitting together?
Yeah, I think they feel it more than anyone on the pitch. So they can feel the dominance they have in a lot of games this season. They can feel when the other team are on the brink physically and mentally of giving up because they haven't had much of the ball and let's get it right. When we have clicked, this is the games we score first in, and the teams haven't come close to us, and that's a fact. That the two games we've scored first in, we've won 2-0 comfortably, and I think one shot on goal against us in both of those games. So it shows the fundamental flaw at the minute is conceding first, conceding early. It's something that needs to change, and we need to have a look at that. Well, we are looking at that. We're constantly looking at that. And that's up for us to address. But I think you're right, Luke. If you look at all the stats, and I don't want to keep bleating on about stats, but the performances and what they are producing in terms of performance, at some point the balance has to tip in their favour, in our favour. It has to, because you can't get all of those that do what we do in terms of the touches in the opposition box, the shots against, how low they are, all of that stuff. You can't keep doing that, and then results don't reflect. If it does, it's complete freak. So eventually it will turn, but we have to make sure that we continue to do what we're doing, keep doing it better, and make sure we address the problems, which we work hard to do. And it's the way we play, how we play. It's finding solutions to any problems we come up against. And I've said to you all the way along, it's really easy to be criticised playing this way. It's because not many people do it, and that's why I talk about identity. I talk about a way of doing things. It's not arrogance. It's not any. It's because of I have a real belief in how it should be played, and how football at this club should be played. And I have a real belief in what we are doing. A real belief in that these players become professionals. They sacrifice a hell of a lot to then play on a Saturday and be nervous and anxious and just kick it away from our goal as far as possible and cross off. It's not how we're going to do it. And fundamentally, we are doing it in a way that takes a lot of courage and a lot of conviction. And if it doesn't quite work at times, you leave yourselves open to a lot of criticism. I understand the pressure that comes with playing this way. But at the same time, if you get it right, there's nothing more enjoyable for a player. There's nothing more enjoyable for a manager to watch his team getting that right and clear. There's nothing more enjoyable for a fan to go away, to come for teams to come here and the opposition fans go to them. Well, your team played good football. Or, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than that, and having a clear identity. So when it clicks, which it will, I've said to you all the way along, it's going to take time. It's a process, and we are very early into that. This season is about improving on last. We are going to do that. We have improved a lot. So setting expectation and being realistic with that is important. But at the same time, given time to build, I really believe this club, we can achieve something special and something really pure and something really enjoyable for everyone to be involved in. And that's the aim for me. And I'm never ever going to stop doing that. We're going to have to tweak things. We're going to have to adapt along the way. But the fundamental non-negotiables of this football club and the players, whilst I'm here, will not change. And that will be intensity. It will be having the courage to play a certain way. And they do that. They do that brilliantly, and the results will follow, and we'll continue to work extremely hard to make sure that happens. And we're, as I said to you, I think we're in the top 10 for form at the moment. We've lost 1 in 6 to the top of the league, so we need to really, really kick on now.
Some really good news, I think, for players, for managers, for media. Although I have to say, going to football matches and finding somewhere to park's been a lot easier over the last few months. But we're on the verge of fans returning in some small capacity anyway to certain clubs, depending on their tiers within the COVID structure. Everyone's looking forward to it, aren't they, Russ? I mean, just a little bit of atmosphere inside the stadium makes this beautiful game that we all love so much more enjoyable to watch.
Can't wait, Luke. Yeah, can't wait. I've got no other word. We're all excited to have them back. We can't wait to have them back. They will recognise how hard the players are working, and it will feel different to the people coming in the stadiums, how it does watching it on iFollow. And it will really help us. They helped us so much last year, so much. And it's not easy when we are trying to build something and play a certain way. There are going to be bumps in the road, but the support and the connection they had, I speak about it all the time, last season was incredible. So I can't wait to have them back and feel that again. I really can't. We were a club last year that was really building a togetherness and a way of doing things, and the fans massively included in that. And I hope that just picks up where it left off last season, and I'm sure it will, because they'll all be excited to come back in, and we'll be so excited to have them. And I know it's going to give a little bit more to the players as well. It really will. So we're really excited about
that. And just finally from me, fancy an FA Cup run?
Yeah, why not? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? As I said to you, I just want to keep the momentum going. Keep up the form we're in terms of results, and keep improving that. And I think every game is a chance for us to be better. So and that this is no different. We have a big chance to go to Barnet on Sunday and win a game and open up for the next round and see what comes. So I think it's exciting. The FA Cup, I spoke to you about it right at the start, the first round, and how exciting it is and how good a competition it is. And that and the Papa John Trophy, we want to do really, really well in. So both of them will be attacking. We have to make a couple of changes, of course, this week, because we have 3 games in 6 days, which is really intense. So we have to manage people, which is really frustrating for me. And I know it's frustrating for you guys and the fans as well, because we want to see our best 11 players on the pitch all the time. But it's a real chance for people to show what they're about and make sure they're forcing their way into the team when they can. But we'll go there on Sunday, have a really strong team trying to win it.
I said finally, this is my finally, if that's okay, because you brought it up and I've completely forgotten. Norwich under-21s in the EFL Trophy. Looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I don't know any of the players, so they're all a bit young when I was there, or they've been recruited since. But yeah, I know a lot of the staff, and there was a couple of texts when the draw was done. So yeah, I look forward to that. For me, it's a great game for us to try and progress in a cup with a massive carrot at the end of it. And it's been a competition that we've had some really good performances and some young players who've really made a name for themselves. So we have to continue that. But look forward to obviously seeing a few faces, and hopefully we can beat them.
Cheers, Russ.
No problems.
You already hinted at it with Luke there, but it feels to me like there's 2 battles that you've got to fight at the moment. It's the long-term aim of trying to overcome the 5 years of bad habits that MK Dons have sort of grown into prior to you taking over, and then there's also the short-term aim of trying to climb up the league table. And it feels like you're beginning to get the balance of the two. But how tough has it been to try and develop that balance in the first place? Because it's 2 completely different battles you're trying to fight there. Yeah,
it's I think as the leader or the manager of the football club, I have to have the big picture view. Of course I do, because that's ultimately where I want to be. I want to progress. I want to make sure that we are doing things in a way that a high-performing team would do, in a culture that is connected to its purpose and to what the club stands for. But you're right, that so often, and football is judged week to week. Things really change. We beat Sunderland. We're great. We lose to league leaders and draw, and then all of things, sudden opinion changes. And I get it. I've been here for so long. I understand it completely. So it's up to me to make sure. It's really important that I don't get sucked into all that, and I'm constantly, and I am really process driven. I know you get fed up with me saying it, but I am, because I know how important it is to not get emotionally tied to results. and I'm emotionally invested completely. You can see that when I'm on the sideline, but I have to make sure that emotion doesn't take over, because I have 35, 40 emotions to manage constantly. So big picture, I really believe in this football club and what we have and what we are doing. And short term, we have to continue to improve results and to convince people it will keep working. And as I said, the support I've had from day one has been incredible. That continues to be the case. The messages I receive, the people, how positive they are about what we're doing, and they can see it. And listen, you're always going to have a few people who don't fully buy into what you're doing or understand, but the support I've had from everyone. And I was asked to bring some stability and an identity to the football club when I first took over. Which I don't think we can have a clearer one. I think everyone knows that. I don't see how we can improve players more. The way we are playing, as you can see, will improve individuals. There's a huge amount invested into improving them as people and as players. And I've been part of very different cultures, processes, and for me, I've established over a long period of time one that I really enjoy being part of, and I love being part of a football club that I've loved being at from day one as a player and now a manager, and it will work. I have complete faith and belief in that, and I said to you all the way along, we have to justify that all the time, and we will. And as I said, short-term aim was about improving on last season, and we're going to do that. We are going to do that. Where it will take us, I don't know, but long-term, I have big ambition for us as a group and for the football club, and I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it, and that doesn't change at all. And for me, what I see reflected in games, performances, and the stats, even though results haven't reflected it all the time, is a big improvement where we were last season. Huge improvement. So, and we have to make sure we eradicate one, as I said to you, one real flaw of ours at the minute, which is conceding first. You've seen what happens when we score first. We have to make sure we do that more often. It's that simple. But I think that's a really long answer to your question. I'm trying to balance both. Sorry, I do give long answers sometimes. But when I feel so strongly about something, it's really difficult for me to give you a short answer. But the short-term answer is trying to balance both in a way that brings us short-term success, but in a way that I know will give us long-term stability and sustainability and success. So we have to make sure we're continually improving and getting results short-term to make sure that remains the case.